What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's Daniel, and welcome back to your video. Today, I'm doing race 6 for the 2025 Grand Park 165. Let's go ahead and just jump straight into it. This weekend, the NASCAR Cup Series heads to the Chicago Street Course, the only street course track that is on the schedule, and the streets of Chicago, a track that can provide some very chaotic moments, and also has had rain the last couple times we've been here that has also provided a lot of chaotic moments at this track. The last time we ran at the Chicago Street Course, we saw a lot of rain hit the racetrack, and Alex Bowman was able to snap a long-time winless streak and pick up his first and only victory of the 2024 season. He looks to come back this time around, and after 1 year, finally pick up his first Cup win of the 2025 season. So now, let's go ahead and jump into picks. But before I go ahead and jump into picks, let's take a look at the weather for this weekend. So the weather for this weekend, once again, like the last couple years, is not looking too promising at the moment. It's 84 degrees high with 69 degrees as a low with a 40% chance of light rain. Now, the good news is if a track doesn't get too treacherous or too wet, they can run rain tires, which could have some drivers in a very big advantage compared to others in the field. Weather could be a factor for this weekend, but it might also not be a major factor. We'll have to keep an eye on the weather over the course of the next couple days. The other big thing, this is race number 2 of the in-season tournament. 16 drivers were limited. Among those were guys like Kyle Larson and Ryan Blaney, who were basically guys who could have been major factors to go on and win a season tournament. They will not have a chance anymore to go for, as 16 drivers will face off. There will be 8 head-to-head matches, and the winner of each of these head-to-head matches will advance to the round of 8, and then we'll go from 4 to 2 to 1. That's how the in-season tournament will continue on. So now, finally, let's go ahead and jump into picks. Now, usually for the Cup Series, I got 2 suck picks, 2 underdog picks, a winner pick, and 5 drivers you need to watch out for. But because we're going to the street course this weekend, I got 3 suck picks, 3 drivers I expect to struggle throughout the weekend who I don't think will have the pace and speed this weekend. I got 3 underdog picks, 3 drivers who desperately need a good run, who think will have a really good run this weekend or really good at this type of track under fun equipment. And I got my winner's pick, the driver I think is going to win the race overall. And I got 7 drivers you need to watch out for along with the race winner. So now let's finally jump into picks. Who are my suck picks for the 2025 Grand Park 165 at the Chicago Street Course? My first suck pick for this weekend at Chicago is the driver to 77 car for Spire Motorsports, Carson Hocevar. Carson Hocevar has had a lot of speed so far in the 2025 season, but a lot of that speed has come at the high-speed ovals like Michigan, like Nashville, for example. You look at his road course numbers. His road course numbers have not been that impressive, and he had a really bad run in Mexico City a couple weeks ago. I just think Carson Hocevar is going to struggle a little bit, unfortunately. I feel like Spire's got good equipment on these road courses, but Carson sometimes overdrives a corner, and he had a really, really bad run at Mexico. So I think for Carson, it's not going to be the best run this weekend. I think he's going to struggle. I don't think it's going to be the best run for Carson going into this weekend at the Chicago Street Course. My second suck pick for this weekend at Chicago is a driver 6 car for RFK Racing, Brad Keselowski. Back in the 2010s, Brad Keselowski was one of the best road course racers in the field. However, Brad Keselowski has never won a road course in NASCAR Cup competition. And since getting to the next gen era, Brad has just completely struggled. He's only had maybe 1 or 2 top 20s in road course racing in the next gen era. And Brad just generally doesn't have the pace and speed at these types of tracks. So I think because of that, Brad is not going to have a good run. I think he's going to struggle, and I think Brad will not be a major factor. I think it's going to be, unfortunately, a really rough weekend for the driver of the number 6 car this weekend at Chicago. And my third and final suck pick for this weekend at the Chicago Street Course is the driver of the 11 car for Joe Gibbs Racing, Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin is one of the fastest guys on a week-by-week basis. However, Denny Hamlin, when it comes to road courses, he's out to lunch. He does not run very well. He has like an average of 21st or 22nd and only has 1 top 10 finish in nearly 20 or 25 road course races in the next-gen era. He just doesn't run well. He qualifies pretty well at this track, but when it comes to a trend for the race, he just doesn't run very, very well. So I think because of that, Denny Hamlin is going to struggle quite a bit. I don't think he's going to have the pace and speed. It's going to be a bad run for Hamlin. I think he's going to run the middle to back of the pack more than likely this weekend at the Chicago Street Course. And now we're going to go ahead and jump on the underdog picks for the 2025 Grand Park 165. Who are my underdog picks? My first underdog pick for this weekend at the Chicago Street Course is a driver to 13 car for Kaulig Racing, Will Brown. Will Brown is making his first scheduled start of 2025 with this team. Now, when it comes to street course racing, Will Brown is someone who has a lot of experience in racing in supercars, which could make him a big factor. I'm just not sure about the number 13 extra car they are going to run. And Kaulig's had some good speed at road courses, but AJ also hasn't finished very well in the other road course races this year, his teammate. So I think Will Brown will have good speed, though. I think he will will be a contender for top 10. And I think he could be a factor for top 5 and have an outside chance to go to victory lane. He's going to be the only driver from Australia outside in that area, outside of like SVG, who's going to be running this weekend. We were supposed to maybe see Brock Feeney, Cam Waters run. They're not running. I think Brown, though, could be pretty good this weekend at Chicago. My second underdog pick for this weekend at the Chicago Street Course is a driver to 23 car for 23XI Racing, Bubba Wallace. Bubba Wallace has really improved on road courses in the next-gen era. Last year, he showed some really, really good speed here. He kept up with the lead pack of guys like Shane Van Gisbergen and Ty Gibbs, Christopher Bell, Alex Bowman, who eventually won the race. He had a really good car in that event and got a top 20 finish there. He's gotten better at these types of tracks. I think Bubba could absolutely be a factor who could have a really, really good run. I think 23XI is going to try to bring the pace and speed, though they've struggled on the road course this year, which is a little surprising. I think Bubba, though, could have a really good run this weekend at Chicago. And my third and final underdog pick for this weekend at the Chicago Street Course is the driver's 67 car for 23XI Racing, Corey Heim. Corey Heim is making his third or fourth NASCAR Cup start of the season. And after how dominant he was at Lime Rock, I'm going to put him as an underdog pick for this weekend. And he was really dominant in the truck race at Lime Rock. And Corey Heim's been pretty good in the Select Cup races that he has ran when he's been up front. I think he's going to have a pretty good run this weekend. I think he's going to have a chance for a top 15. The field's very competitive in Cup, which is stronger than the truck field. But I think Heim will have a really, really good run this weekend at Chicago. And now we'll go ahead and jump onto the winner's pick for the 2025 Grand Park 165 at the Chicago Street Course. Who am I picking to win? My winner's pick for this weekend is absolutely a no-brainer. This guy won the inaugural race in 2023. Had it not been for getting dumped by Chase Briscoe last year, I think he would have had a really good chance to win, especially in the rain. And this guy already has a win so far this year at Mexico. I am picking the driver of the number 88 car for Trackhouse Racing, Shane Van Gisbergen, to pick up a second win of 2025 and his third career NASCAR Cup Series win. Coming this weekend, he is the odds-on favorite. No one, I think, has been able to figure him out at this track. He's been extremely dominant here. He's been really, really good in Xfinity competition at this track. And I think Shane Van Gisbergen and this team are going to bring the pace and speed. If it not been for the win in Mexico, where he completely flat-out dominated and was the best guy in the field without question, I think he would have circled this as maybe his first potential win. He's got a lot of good races coming up. We got Sonoma next week. He's going to be a factor there. I think Shane Van Gisbergen will be the guy who goes to victory lane this weekend and gets the second win of the year. And now we're going ahead and jump on the drivers you need to watch out for this weekend at Chicago. Who should you have your eyes out on? The first driver you need to watch out for this weekend at Chicago is a driver of the 9 car for Hendrick Motorsports, Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott is coming off of winning his first Cup Series race in 2025 at Atlanta Motor Speedway last week. And this 9 team has a lot of momentum. And remember when we ran in Mexico, he was the most impressive guy outside of Shane Van Gisbergen. He was one of the few guys here at the end of the race that could move through the field. He showed some really, really good speed. And I think this 9 team is really starting to click, and they're getting a lot faster currently at the moment. So because of that, I think Chase Elliott will be a factor, and I think he's going to have a pretty good dang car this weekend at Chicago. The second driver we need to watch out for this weekend at Chicago is the driver of the 5 car for Hendrick Motorsports, Kyle Larson. Yes, Kyle Larson has not been as strong as in recent weeks or early in the season, but Kyle Larson also was really fast before he got turned by Kyle Busch last time at the most recent road course race. And he was really fast last year before he crashed. I think Larson will turn his season around starting this weekend. I think he's going to have a good car. He's going to show some good pace and speed. I expect the number 5 car to be up front and be a pretty big contender for the win this weekend at Chicago. The third driver we need to watch out for this weekend at the Chicago Street Course is a driver of the 20 car for Joe Gibbs Racing, Christopher Bell. The first few years we've ran at this track, Bell's been really fast. He had a really good car here in 2023, and in 2024 he was really fast. And at the other road course races, he's finished first and second. I think Bell is going to have a really good opportunity to go to victory lane. I think this team is going to bring a lot of really good pace and speed. The Joe Gibbs cars have been really strong at this track. I think Bell is going to be a factor. I think he's going to have a really good chance and a very strong opportunity to pick up the win this weekend at the Chicago Street Course. The fourth driver we need to watch out for this weekend at the Chicago Street Course is the driver of the 54 car for Joe Gibbs Racing, Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs being one to watch is not something I've really said so far this year because generally this team has not been that great. But recently they made a change where they put Chris Gabehart to help out Tyler Allen get this team up to shape. In the last couple weeks, this 54 team has definitely been a little bit faster. On top of that as well, he was the second best car outside of Shane Van Gisbergen in Mexico but got trapped in the back of the pack. And he was really good in this race last year too. He's going to be really good the next couple of stretch of races. I think Ty's going to have a really fast car, and I think Gibbs will be a pretty big factor. I think he'll have a chance to maybe get his first career Cup win this weekend at Chicago. The fifth driver you need to watch out for this weekend at the Chicago Street Course is a driver to 17 car for RFK Racing, Chris Buescher. This 17 team has a lot of speed right now. Buescher's been the fastest RFK Racing driver this season, and this 17 team's been on a roll at road courses. Buescher's only had one finish outside of the top 10. I think that's 11th or 12th place at one of the races. He's been super consistent, the most consistent guy in road courses in the next gen era. I think he's got a shot for a top 5 this weekend. I think he's going to be really good. I think they're going to bring some good pace and speed. I expect this number 17 car to be a major factor for a great run this weekend at Chicago. The sixth driver you need to watch out for this weekend at the Chicago Street Course is the driver to 71 car for Spire Motorsports, Michael McDowell. At Mexico earlier this year, McDowell was one of the fastest cars. He had top 5 speed most of the day and scored a top 5 finish in 5th place. McDowell has had some good speed at these types of tracks in the past, and of course picked up a road course win in Indianapolis 2 years ago. I think he will be a potential big factor for the victory. I think Spire is going to do what they can to try to give McDowell an opportunity to make the playoffs. They're probably going to bring a good car for Michael McDowell. I think we'll have a very strong and really fast and good car this weekend at the Chicago Street Course. And the seventh final driver you need to watch out for this weekend at Chicago is a driver with the 8 car for Richard Childress Racing, Kyle Busch. Now look, the last road course race Kyle Busch ran, let's be honest, it wasn't the best run for Kyle. But I think he's going to have a good run here because this team has been really good the first 2 years. Kyle Busch scored a top 5 in the first race at this track, and in the second race, I think he scored a top 10 if I'm not mistaken. Kyle Busch has been pretty good at road courses, and remember at Skoda, he had the fastest car in the field, faster than Shane Van Gisbergen in the race. If they give him an extra time on the track, he could be a really big factor for the victory perhaps. He's looking for his first win since Gateway of 2023. I think he's going to have a pretty good car, and I think he'll show some really good pace and speed this weekend at Chicago. So, those are my race 6 for the 2025 Grant Park 165 at Chicago. Just a reminder, my suck picks are Carson Osbar, Brad Keselowski, Denny Hamlin. My underdog picks are Will Brown, Bubba Wallace, Corey Heim. My winner's pick is Shane Van Gisbergen. And the ones to watch out for, Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, Christopher Bell, Ty Gibbs, Chris Buescher, Michael McDowell, and Kyle Busch. Those are my race picks. So that is going to be it for the race 6 video for the 2025 Grant Park 165 at the Chicago Street Course. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, notifications on, so if I win a video, it does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support me on Patreon as well. Let's go to below that and combo your picks flow for this weekend at Chicago. Who are your picks for this weekend? Let me know your suck picks, your underdog picks, your winner's pick, and let me know drivers you're watching out for this weekend at Chicago. Let me know your picks in the comments below. If any major news breaks later today, we'll discuss it live on the channel, but there also will be the paint scheme video for the weekend at Chicago for Cup and Xfinity dropping. Tomorrow, if there is not a lot of news that breaks, we are going to be doing a video on Daniel Suarez and his potential future of where he might go for 2026 and where I might think he ends up heading next year unless things get announced. And then, of course, on Saturday, with reactions to Xfinity and the Cup Series races from Chicago and some other stuff as well. We'll have reactions to qualifying sessions from the Cup Series race, and we'll also have some other content dropping. And then on Monday, we're going to have a NASCAR news video more than likely dropping over the course of the next couple days. We're going to be talking about things around Sonoma as well. And we got some pretty fun content on people like Haley Deegan, Shane Van Gisbergen, Cards, Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch, Bubba Wallace, Ross Chastain, Cleveland Farm, Dodge Ram, some Dodge stuff perhaps we'll be talking about with Tim Kuklin that's coming in and running that operation now, and some other stuff around Connor Zillage, Carson Quaffle, Sam Mayer, Sheldon Creed, you name it, Frankie Muniz, all the good stuff, Bubba Wallace, Ryan Preece, 2311 front row, all the good stuff. We'll be talking about that on the channel in the coming days and weeks. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode, and I'll see you guys next time for more great, awesome NASCAR content, other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.